What's up, guys? Today I will finally be doing the list of the top 25 albums of the year. I will also be doing some of the honorable mentions, and I'll do a letdowns list later. So let's do with the honorable mentions first. Let Live, The Black is Beautiful. I love Let Live. Their last album, Fake History, is one of my favorites of all time. But even though I enjoyed this album, the second half gets kind of boring, and there's kind of an identity crisis throughout the whole album. Next up, Killswitch Engage with Disarm the Second. I liked this album, but they really did nothing new other than bring Jesse in and the song Always. But I liked it. There was enough catchy songs on it and some good solos. Dayshell's debut, I liked it, but it wouldn't make this list. It kind of has some hints of, Mice and Men, Deftones definitely, but it couldn't make this list. Next up, C.O.B. with Halo Blood, finally coming back from that awful, reckless, relentless, whatever the fuck it was called, produced. C.O.B. finally comes back with an album that just grabs you by the throat in the form of Halo Blood. It's not on this list just because I had to make way for some other albums, and unfortunately this got cut, along with the next one, Nails' Abandon All Life. If you remember, I gave that a 10 out of 10. I cut it for two reasons. One, I had to make some room for some different bands. This was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I also wish it was longer. So let's get on the list. Let's go from 25 to 15. Number 25 with Darkthrone, The Underground Resistance. Darkthrone finally comes back with a great album after a period of time with this new style, and this is very varied in its works. We've got a song like Valkyrie, which is very melodic and almost like Viking era Bathory. We have some really stellar, like, old school heavy metal riffs, and if you remember when this album was praised to God as being not revolutionary, but the savior of metal a couple months ago, back in our winter, I still like it, but I kind of grown fond of other things. Next up, easily the best deathcore album of this year, Thy Art Is Murder with Hate. This album is just angry. It is a shot of adrenaline to a pissed off human being. I mean, where do I start? The guitar riffs, while simple in most cases, are brutally heavy, especially the production comes in with the guitars, and the breakdowns, ridiculous. The vocals are some of the most hate-filled, screaming your head off, just ridiculous death metal / deathcore vocals I've heard all year. Great album. Next up, Love and Death's Here and Between Here and Lost. This surprised me a lot. I love old school Korn, and I heard Head was reinventing himself. And he did. I mean, this album is filled with some really good old school Korn sounding riffs, really catchy songs, especially I Will Wait For You, The Abandoning, and probably one of my personal favorites, Meltdown. Number 22, we have Scale the Summit with The Migration. The only way to describe this beautiful piece of instrumental progressive technical metal is lush, like the album cover and the name. I mean, the melodies are lush, especially on like the Olive Tree songs have beginnings and ends. I feel like it's just not one long section of just instrumentalness. It feels like a whole complete song and something I can listen to all the time. It's also much more laid back than previous albums with the exception of Dark Horse. But definitely check out Atlas Novas, Odyssey, and the Olive Tree. Easily the best songs. Number 21, August Burns Red with Rescue and Restore. Easily the best metalcore album of this year. I love August Burns Red. This new album refines some of the elements I didn't like on Lever. Also brings back very good lyricalism that I've been striving for a good metal album. Some very passionate songs, especially Spirit Breaker and Beauty and Tragedy. Very good album. Next up, we have Volbeat with Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies. I'm not a huge Volbeat fan, but this album caught me. It's catchy. It's got some really good guest appearances by Sarah Blackwood and King Diamond, of course, on Room 24, which is fucking amazing. Overall, just really great structured songs, very catchy, excellent vocals, and the guest appearances kill. Number 19, the album, when I first heard about it, made my mind blow because I love these two rappers, LP and Killer Mike, doing Run the Jewels. This is a great album. It's not higher because it's a short album, but I do love songs like Banana Clipper, Run the Jewels especially, 36, all great songs. Production is definitely done by LP to his fullest extent. The flows are amazing, some really great lyrics. Awesome album. Next up, The Return of Tyler, the Creator! Whoa! The last album, Goblin, I don't like that much. I do love Tyler stuff, but I don't like Goblin that much. And Wolf is easily far fucking beyond that. The production is much more complicated and interesting. His lyricalism has advanced, especially since then, especially on tracks like Colossus and 48. It's also just a very varied album in its production styles. I really enjoy it. I really digged it. Glad he's finally back on track. Number 17 is a live album, Nightwish, with Showtime Storytime. I like Nightwish, but I love this thing. Flora Jensen, their new vocalist after they lost their last one, she does an amazing job. If you want any proof, just listen to I Wish I Had an Angel and Storytime off of here, or Ghost Love Score. She does an amazing job. It also has that great like live energy feel where you can hear the crowd and Yari interact with them. Next up is Revocation with their self-titled new album. They turned down the pace here. Revocation easily is one of the more talented bands of the new underground, and I love parts of this album. I love this album as a whole, I should really say, especially the opener and Fract and some other song I'm forgetting about. Oh well. But basically, this album has a lot more mid-pacing than the previous effort, Chaos of Forms. Some really great solos, excellent vocals by Dave Daverman, and flawless drum work. Easily one of the best albums of this year. Next up, a very important rap album, Sadistic Flowers for My Father. This is an atmospheric rap album, I would call it, and Sadistic is amazing. The guest vocalists in here are really good, like on Kill the King. His lyrics and the way he just rhymes, it sounds so sorrowful, and about Iodai, especially on Melancholy, that I really feel for him, and it's really just an amazing album. Very soulful. Alright, so that's the first part. Next part coming up, and then maybe a day or two. Subscribe and comment. Keep it metal. Peace.